Today, on this edition of Mental Health Matters with Marty, with my co host Thomas Davis, how to have self care during COVID. Stay tuned. What's happening, everybody? Hey, my name is Martinez Sellers, and I am your mental health hygienist here on the Mental Health Matters Tuesday edition of It Is More Than a Pandemic, COVID special edition here. Listen, as always, we want to say this today, and as always we do on our Tuesday show, it is strictly to be an educational purpose. This is intended for educational purposes, and this is not a substitute for any medical or psychiatric advice. We are not a therapy session or a medical session, but if you're experiencing any type of medical or psychiatric emergency, please go to your nearest urgent care hospital or dial 911. With that being said, hey y'all, welcome. We are so glad that you are joining us. Listen, like and share, get people out there. Shayla, how are you doing? How's everything going? Listen, we are so excited to see everyone out there. Let us know you are out there dropping. That's right, just dropping in for a second. We're so glad. Hey Auntie, how you doing? We are so glad. Listen, so excited about today. Today, December 1st, is World's AIDS Day. And we want to definitely remember and talk about, if you check out my show yesterday, please go back and see it. I had future Dr. Dante Morrison on the show on yesterday as we talked about HIV and the Black and Brown communities. Miss Penny, how are you? Hope you're doing well out there. We'll make sure your son is treating you all right. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. But in that, we are definitely want to remember those who are suffering from HIV and AIDS, and also those who have died from it as well. We have to have these open conversations in our communities because still too many are being affected by not just this pandemic, but also HIV and AIDS, as we are not having these conversations, and too many are senselessly dying because they are secretly suffering in the silence, secretly suffering in silence in the shadow of shame. And as always, we say here on the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, we want you to speak out, and live, most definitely. So with that being said, hope everyone is doing well. Listen, like and share. Let us know you are out there. Who's out there today? Let us know. Yes, yes. So those who are, thank you again, living with HIV but not suffering, because meds are so amazing. So let us know you are out there. Let us know that you are listening. What's happening, everybody? What's going on? Listen, I know that y'all got a big snowstorm back there in Ohio. We are enjoying this fabulous weather out here. Not to brag, but it is amazing. And the sun is always shining. So come on out to the West Coast and the best coast. But with that being said, we want to introduce and bring on my co-host, who's not quite from the best coast, but he's just strictly from the East Coast. No dig, but he's all right. I guess we'll have him on. As always, the resident psychologist in here who's bringing us some psychology. I'm all tongue-tied today. Thomas Davis, where you at? Thomas!
You see, God don't like ugly. Keep praying. God do not like ugly. That's why you over there tongue twisted. And you're not speaking in tongue. Watch it. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
What's up, Thomas? How you feeling?
Man, it's been a long, steady day. I'm tired, but I'm excited to be on here with you. Shout out to you for having a great show on World AIDS Day last night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It was very informative.
Yes.
Shout out to you and your host.
Yes,
co-host.
Dante was absolutely amazing, and it's something we don't talk about. And I know you're in the DMV. I'm out here in the suburbs of Los Angeles and all that, and we have to have these conversations because, again, too many are suffering in silence because of shame. And I just got done watching, for those who might know, Shirley Ralph. She does an amazing job with AIDS and HIV awareness. She did a great show on her website today. Again, it's Simply Divas. Singing, simplydivasinging.com. She's
Mm-hmm.
doing something every day of the week this week, and that's highlighting those, especially one of the areas that we don't talk about are our black and brown women, especially black women who
Right.
are still the highest infected with HIV these days, and we don't have these conversations on how our black and brown sisters can protect each other. Ready for another great, yes, but
Oh,
very important
Martin,
show.
guess what? He's from the
Yes.
East Coast. Shout out to my DMV watchers.
You know I got nothing but love. I almost moved
Right.
to the DMV,
The
but the cold
best
got me.
coast.
The best coast is the West Coast. I got my West Coast girl here with me tonight, so don't you play with me.
And I got my East Coast homie on too. So what's up?
He live in the South. That ain't East Coast.
It's on the East Coast.
Listen, you in school. How you? But on the serious tip about with our women who are definitely have been exposed or have HIV, we don't
Right.
talk about it.
Right.
And why is it that we are afraid to talk about? We're talking about self care, so I think
Right.
this definitely fits in there. Having healthy conversations with our children when it comes to sex, intimacy, and just being free to talk about it, so things quit being so taboo and
Right,
closet
right.
secret and all that, and we won't have as many problems. Why do you think we still struggle with that in 2020, having healthy sexual conversations with our children, talking to them about HIV, talking to them about AIDS, talking about STDs and all these other things? Why do we still struggle with that if we're talking about self-care today?
Well, you know what the actual main thing that I would just say is we as individuals, whether we male, female, whatever the case may be,
Right.
we don't want to present ourselves as being in a situation where someone would judge us or look at,
Right.
whoa, you
Right.
have what? Because
Right.
sometimes when you open yourself up and you allow yourself to be transparent,
Mm-hmm.
people give what we call that quote unquote natural reaction that you be like,
Mm-hmm.
huh? And so then when I expose my truth to you, I'm a little concerned with what is going to be the response and how you're going
Mm-hmm.
to treat me after the fact. So I would
Mm-hmm.
just say that the number one thing is people don't want to be judged.
Right. But we have to get past that today.
We do. We do.
In that, because there's so many other things that is killing us with that. Thank you, Auntie. Yes, it was great. Yes, you were in there. Dante was absolutely amazing. And those
Yes,
of you
he
who don't know,
was.
please check out DanteMorrison.com, as he is definitely one of the community activators
Right.
in here in Southern California, who is doing it, who's sharing. And just a plug, please check out my podcast that's going to drop at midnight here on the West Coast. Yes, Mental Health Matters with Marty, and in that I do an exclusive interview with Dante, and we talk about World's AIDS Day, and we talk about it, how it's affecting our black community and what we need to do with that as well. So, how was your Thanksgiving?
Man, let me tell you, Thanksgiving was different for us.
Okay.
Before we went out on Thanksgiving on the show
Right.
Tuesday night, we said that we were going to have a Zoom Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of our family members, and we
Mm-hmm.
did do that.
Okay.
We had a small group at my mom's house. The food was delicious.
Okay.
Shout
Did
out
you
to
cook?
Yes, I cook.
Can you cook?
I sure can. Do you
Now-
see why I'm working out every day?
I understand. Thanksgiving ain't the time to be trying a new recipe.
No.
We need them tried and true recipes on Thanksgiving.
We ain't measuring nothing. We just throwing it in the pot.
That's right. That's right. We pulled out Grandmama's recipe,
Right.
and Aunt Bertha's and Reese May's recipes.
Right. We ain't measuring no cup and no pinch of this. We just gonna shake it in there and taste
That's
it.
right. That's right.
But
That's
no,
right.
Thanksgiving was actually great. I spent a lot of time with my mom because just for me,
Mhm.
I've learned in 2020 that it's very important to spend time with loved ones
Yes.
that you can see
Yes.
physically
Yes.
distant.
Yes.
And so we made sure that everyone was safe.
Wonderful.
We didn't have a whole lot of people in the home.
Right.
We had masks on. Well, I wore a mask for a while.
Mhm.
And, just wanted to make sure that everyone was comfortable.
Mhm.
But it was just great just to be with
Mhm.
family.
You're
And
right.
yours, look at you. You showing off tonight. See, that's why you can't put it on your face right. I don't know what's wrong with him tonight, people, but we all need to pray.
We just having a good time. This is how we roll, Thomas. You know this is how we roll, man.
Right, but no, you started talking about the East Coast, so I'm just throwing a little darts back at you tonight.
It's all good. Listen, with so much going on,
Yes.
2020 has been a rough year for so many people.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I say it this way, you know, we always said, 2020, clear vision, clear vision. We did get clear vision in 2020.
Didn't we?
And some of us weren't prepared for what we saw in it. And now that we can see the truth in a lot of our situations, within ourselves, within our families, within our community, within our nation, within the world, now we are better prepared in how to deal with it.
And within ourselves, too.
Within ourselves, yes.
Right.
So self-care is so important when we're talking about how to deal with troubling times,
Right.
how to deal with 2020, how to deal with a pandemic that we still haven't wrapped our arms around, that the intake number and the thank you, the numbers are going up. How about that?
Yes, sir. All the way up. All the way up, man.
So, we can talk all night, but listen, introduce our first guest, who is definitely someone who's been on the show before, but we're so glad to have him back yet again from the South, not the East Coast. He's from the South. Let's get it straight. Introduce Jabari.
Yes, so Jabari Dobson hails all the way from the Atlanta. And he is phenomenal.
Yes, he is.
He is a great individual. He works in the healthcare field. I'm going to let him share with you his recent accomplishments that we all are excited about.
Yes.
He is doing the work. He knows how to take care of our body. Yes. He has some awesome vitamins that we all need to start taking to keep our immune system up.
Wait a minute. Did he start some new vitamin regimen or some?
He gave us some information on our
I was about to say, did the brother start a new company and didn't tell us? Because I need to get my order in right now. We supporting small businesses and black-owned and minority-owned businesses. Let's bring him on the stage.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on in. Come on in the house. Come on in the house.
Jabari, what's happening?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're good.
Somebody is cutting up on the show tonight. I ain't one to gossip, but I am one to dispel the truth and tell the truth. So welcome to the show. Welcome back, man. How you been? What's going on? For those who may not know who you are you? What do you do? And all that good stuff.
Okay, so my name is Jabari. I'm originally from Savannah. I'm currently a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I work in outpatient. I work at one practice that's primarily we do like across the lifespan. So I see kids, I see Jerry's, I see adults, everybody. And then the other practice primarily focuses on addiction management and things like that, and the underdeserved. So yeah, been working.
Excellent.
And your recent accomplishment, sir?
You talking about me becoming a nurse practitioner?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I've been practicing. Yeah, I've been practicing. That's what I'm talking about. I've been practicing about 4 months. And so it's I had prior experiences like when I worked as a nurse in psych. I worked almost 5 years before becoming a nurse practitioner. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're excited, and in our show, we like to highlight young black men and young black women who are doing amazing work in the community. Listen, you just did, you're studying, you did everything you have to. We are so excited. I can't wait till you get your license here in California, so I can go ahead and be like, I got somebody.
I'm working on that.
I know you are. I know you are. Then you're gonna come on back to the best coast. I mean, Thomas just jealous.
I have no reason to be.
He in the Capitol. Listen, I want to bring our next guest on here so she can be a part of this as well. This is my soldier sister herself. Listen, when you're talking about people who are doing the work in our communities, out in Watts, in Compton, where we have turned up our nose at. But she say, listen, there's much to be celebrated here. We are doing it. We look out for each other. I met her, oh my goodness, when she's one of the original Kurt Carr singers. I met her when they were out singing. She's talking about a soul sister who can sing. She has starred in my play, what's the name of it? Soul of Christmas. Lord have mercy. I wrote the name play and forgot, but she's absolutely amazing, and I just love her heart. She's out there always looking for things to give to people, and when you need something, listen. Her feet is in the street, making sure she's doing the right thing, preaching and touching lives and changing lives. None other than my sister, who gave me the nickname Mental Health Hygienist, is none other than Nisa Shanae.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Good
fellas.
evening.
Good.
Are you gonna drop us the tune at the end?
Always.
You know what? I'll reach down and get something. Watch.
Nisa, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you are available. Listen, she's one of those people you can call. I called her this morning and said, I need you on the show tonight. She said, all right, what time, where? With that, Nisa, share with the listeners who you are, what you do, and these young men have not had the amazing opportunity of meeting you, but what you do and your heart and passion.
Well, you said it right there. I'm basically born to serve.
Yes.
Bottom line, born to serve. It's exactly what I am and who I am.
Yes.
And listen, experience is the best teacher. You know,
Yes.
to put some burning with that learning, or learning with that burning, if you will, ain't nothing like getting your hands, rolling up your sleeves and getting down in the trenches. And here it is. The blessing is being a blessing. That's my motto.
Yes.
People don't realize just how much a blessing instead of looking exactly what it is. Can you do for me? What can I get? What can I get?
Right.
To posture myself in a position to give, if you will, and that can
Yes.
be a little bit of more than people think. Giving is money. It's way more than money. A smile. You'd be surprised. Learn a few, maybe about 12 words in Espanol, if you will, and they begin to look at you like, because people are not used to speaking to each other,
Right.
and just a nod at the light, instead of that
Yeah.
stank, that what do you call that, that mean mug type of situation. These are very simple things that can in fact make a person's day better. And
Yes.
I'm allergic to negativity. I don't fare well. I don't get down like that.
I know
And
that's
I'm no
right.
angel. No, let me understand this. I'm no angel, but I do have a clear understanding when you're in the people business. I know exactly how it is to make people feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a gift. It's
Right.
a gift that I don't take for granted. That's all.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Nisa, you jumped right into the discussion and you open it up with tips that we can do
Yes.
for self-care. Give someone a smile.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
just learn something that you are not accustomed to doing.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
means that we got to step outside of us a little bit to
Right.
be able
Exactly.
to reach someone else. And that is what Marty and I talked about while he was driving in the car, is what we were going to talk about on this week, and the things that we want to really give people for the month of December is, how can we be whole and okay in December until we walk into 2021. And so you open up the gates for that. So I just want to ask you like a quick question. Why do you feel self-care is important?
Yes, that's a good one.
It's all about the mirror, for the
Yes.
record. And hi, Michael Jackson, how you doing? A man in the mirror.
Love it.
Yeah, MJ.
It's it's so very necessary, because
Yes.
when that person and when you are okay with yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
when you love yourself,
Yes.
there's so much that you will not allow to happen to you. So
Come
it's
on.
very important to become and to get in line and have a very personal relationship with you. Like, you don't live life until you're able to go to, and we'll be outside in a minute. We'll be back outside in a minute,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
ain't nothing like stepping into a fine restaurant with your fine self, and
Yes.
that waiter or waitress asks you, how many in your party? It's party of
Mm-hmm.
one. Party of one.
Come
Going to
on.
matinees by yourself. Doing these
Yes.
things when you love yourself. I really happen to believe that I'm the best company in the whole wide world. For the
Right.
Come
record,
on. Yes,
All
for the
right.
record.
me and God, we make a bomb team. And
Love
so
it.
there's just certain things that you're not going to allow to happen
Right.
to yourself when you love yourself.
Mm.
It starts there. It starts there. And
I love that.
for some people it's not easy, and whatever it is that's not enabling you to do so, then that's where you contact Marty, and he has a whole network of folk to help you get down with yourself.
Yeah.
Thomas is in my network. He's a licensed therapist out in the DMV. He's
I love it.
amazing.
I
He
love
I
it.
love it.
is.
I
Yes,
love it.
yes. Jabari, even with that same question, and even how talk to us how self-care and the lack of self-care, the lack of self-esteem and low self-esteem, how that affects us
Mm-hmm.
physically, what you're seeing in your clinics and so forth.
It's really important because a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
that I have seen recently report that, pretty much since the pandemic and things like
Yes.
that, they have lost motivation to do
Yes.
a lot of things, and they're a lot more depressed, a lot more anxious,
Yes.
because they're dealing with a lot. So, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's
Yes.
important to always take the time out to really understand, where you're going and, what's
Right.
going on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, a lot of the complaints that I've been getting lately is just
Mm-hmm.
that, people just feel like they feel isolated,
Yes. Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
they are becoming a little bit more codependent on other people.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of these people, they're discovering that they thought, prior to this, pandemic happening, they thought that, maybe they were reliable,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about like significant others and all these type of
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really uncovering, a lot of things that people probably wouldn't see. So yeah, we
Yeah.
prayed for vision in 2020, and it's given us
We got
true
it.
vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
I would say though, but definitely, I would say the biggest thing is just taking care of your mental health. No matter
Yes.
what economic background you're from, I
Yes.
think that it's so important to, really take care of your mind in the midst of
Right.
everything, and that's keeping a strong faith,
Mm-hmm. There you
relaxing and
go.
understanding that, despite the turmoil within the world, you have to still remain grounded and, just taking care of yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So, Jabari, I want to stay there for a quick second. Let's
Yes.
talk
Yes.
about
Hmm.
anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm.
to our viewing audience, which we appreciate you so much for watching us tonight, but what are some warning signs? What are some early
Good.
warning signs that we see within ourselves when we are anxious about things?
Yes. Good.
So anxiety, the clinical presentation of anxiety means that
Yes.
you are sweating,
Mm-hmm.
it's to the point where it's debilitating. Like you can't
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
go and do the normal things that you would normally do, like go to a grocery store or be around people
Mm-hmm.
or, really, just complete simple activities.
Right.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
people become anxious when they have to, maybe fill out paperwork or, just
Right.
different things. And with the pandemic, a lot of people's anxiety have increased because of the fact that
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
they're scared to be around people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared about, things that could possibly happen to them.
Right.
Just many different things. But anxiety is, it's a lot of mental as well as physical. You can feel
There you
Mm-hmm.
tightness in
go.
your chest,
Right.
Yes.
Right.
all type of things. So, it
Okay.
can
And
present in many different ways.
And I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of times what we forget, that how we take care of ourselves physiologically affects us mentally, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. How we take care of ourselves mentally affects us physiologically.
Exactly.
And I wish we would do definitely a much stronger approach to health and wellness, so that mental health and medical, we would definitely do a much more integrative process
Mm-hmm.
in that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, niece, I wish we even bring along the community and spirituality in that,
Mhm.
because
Mm-hmm.
imagine the treatment plan
Right.
that we could write if we talk to
Wow.
right. Our pastors are now, and our churches are
Yeah.
part of the treatment plan with the therapist. That's a part of the treatment plan with the medical doctor and your general practitioners.
Right.
Can you
Mhm.
imagine the clarity, and then bring in, if you have a case manager and all that, how
Right.
much more healthier we could be? Self care wouldn't be a problem because that'd be at the top of the
Mm.
list
Right.
Right.
with
Mhm.
that. So, Nisa, what are you seeing? Because you're actively in the community, especially in a
Right.
community that a lot of times that's overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know we can't find all the time fresh food around.
Yeah.
We
Right.
want to
Right.
make sure that. Thank you,
Mhm.
Danny. Wrap around.
I
That's
love
it.
that. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yes. What are you seeing in the community where you're at, in the LA communities where we're at, and where you find people are hurting at?
Well, unfortunately, being that I'm frontline soldiers, and I view us
Mm-hmm.
all in the army,
Mm-hmm.
I really view us service. When you're on the front line of service, you see. I never knew what weariness looked like.
Right.
You can see it on the soul of a person.
Yes.
I've never seen, and now this is the community at large who
Yeah. Yeah.
have not had much experience on being in the fight, if you
Mm-hmm.
will.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in the community, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've never
Right.
seen so many frontline soldiers throwing in the towel.
Ooh. Ooh, that's
That's
good.
what
Mm-hmm.
concerns me the most of those of us that are on the front line. And I don't necessarily mean out in the people's faces,
Right.
not covered up, not 6 feet apart,
Right.
because
Right.
people, there's this thing that's strangling the community, and that is
Mm.
fear.
Yes.
Fear, and
Yes.
fear from the noise. Fear, people will turn on CNN and
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
MSNBC and turn on these devices, and they and 24/7
Yeah.
ingest everything that's being fed to them. And what concerns me most about soldiers getting weary, and then adults in the community getting weary, they're
Right.
Mm-hmm.
in the household and raising children that are
Mm-hmm.
looking and listening and watching and studying footsteps of these people, of their parents, of their guardians.
Yeah.
And so that's what concerns me a lot. And so one thing about it is being able to reach one. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not
Right.
so I'm not so in this race to not to be able to think that I can gather up everybody and help win everybody and save I wish I
Right.
could. There was a time in my life
Mm-hmm.
when I was much younger. I'm sure you guys can get with this, when you were able to be in three places at one time. Remember that?
Right. When we had
Remember
energy
that?
like Jabari.
Oh, those days are those days are not upon me. Let me just speak for myself right now.
Nisa,
So
I'm in the same boat with you.
so it's about
I was
being
about
able
to say,
to
speak for you, Marty.
But you're
you
absolutely
see a
right.
lot of it, and you do your best to make a difference, to add some sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, Marty, I want to jump in real quick. And
Please.
Nisa, you stated soldiers. I want to kind of break that down, what soldiers are
Mm-hmm.
for our
Please do.
audience. Soldiers
Hmm.
are our teachers,
Yes.
our nurse practitioners,
Yes.
our
Yes.
therapists,
Yes.
our
Hmm.
neighbors, our
Yes.
parents, our
Yes.
leaders in the community, our
Yes.
activists, our pastors,
Yes.
our churches,
Yes.
lottie
Yeah.
dottie, everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
We are all
Indeed.
soldiers, and like you said,
Mhm.
sometimes we get tired and we
Yes.
just
Yes.
say, you know what, I'm done. But that's where
Hmm.
that self-care has to come in,
That's
and that's
right.
why I asked Jabari to give us some warning signs of when we are
Mm-hmm.
feeling
Hmm.
ourselves becoming anxious, because
Right.
when we see that sweating and that
Mm-hmm.
breathing and that chest tightness, we know then that we got to push pause, take a
Yep.
break, reevaluate, and re-strategize.
Hmm.
So thank you so much for saying that. And
Yeah.
also, Danny Ross said I also believe in formal and informal approaches.
Yes.
That is so key in
Yes.
2020, that wraparound piece, because I'm telling
Yes.
you, Marty would tell you, Jabari would tell you, I'm telling you, we have been nonstop in the
Mm-hmm.
mental health field.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Right.
to have those informal supports.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Not
That's
that
right.
we can't do it, but we also have to understand that we are human too. Because once we log
Right.
off that Zoom and once we walk off that session, we got to face our own issues.
That's
Right.
So
right. That's
connecting the community with the individual or individuals is so key. So thank you, Mission.
right.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's
Bless you.
awesome.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
from a medical point of view, Jabari, when we are
Mm-hmm.
feeling anxiety or even depressive symptoms, because I say it like this, Nisa, they hang out like Grace and Mercy, but they not that kind. They
Follow
not
you
that kind.
everywhere.
Ah,
Uh,
They in that because
Wow.
what can we do from a medical point of view to help alleviate some of these anxious feelings that we're feeling, and what can we do to maybe even alleviate some of these depressive symptoms that we're feeling from a medical point of view that you're stating?
um, definitely get proper rest. That's a
Mm-hmm.
big thing. Definitely get proper rest. Definitely have a relaxation, regimen. Definitely seek therapy.
Yeah, come on, therapy.
Yeah, like it's so crazy because to tell a funny story. So I'm in this group that has like black male nurses. So I
Uh
told
huh.
this guy like last week, I was like, and he's kind of like always in there posting a little bit about different stuff or whatever,
Right. Right.
and he's kind of like emotional.
Uh huh.
But I told him, I was like, hey, I really think that you should get some therapy because, the things that you are struggling with emotionally, you need to
Right.
speak to a therapist. And so he, of course, didn't like that because all the time, in our community, people think that when you say the word therapy, that
mm-hmm,
You
you're
crazy or
calling
something?
them crazy and,
Right.
stuff.
mm-hmm.
But even when I'm at work, and I tell my patients all the time, I can prescribe you medications all day long, but it will not help with the symptoms that you're
Yes.
having.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
it won't. Medicine is not a fix. It's not a crutch. It helps alleviate some symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not something that we as people want you to rely on, because
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be times where medicine will fail and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to employ those coping mechanisms
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
all of
Right.
those things. I
Right.
battle with patients all the time that
Mm-hmm.
we get, we're literally in a crisis where these other providers are giving them, benzodiazepines and things like that as a quick
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
fix.
Mm-hmm.
And these people get hooked and they will literally fight you tooth and nail if you do not
Mm-hmm.
give them
Wow.
Yeah.
their
Right.
medicine. And it's just a thing that it's not effective. It's just addictive. So,
Mm.
I
Mm.
as a provider,
That's good.
have come in contact with some people. I mean, this girl literally cussed me out like 45 minutes last week about Xanax, because she had went to different providers and she had got almost 300 pills worth of Xanax in 1 month.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Wow.
it is,
It's crazy.
it's a big
Wow.
crisis and problem, and
It is.
and people are more dependent on it. They're using more because of the fact that
Yep.
it's just everything that's going on. They're at home. They're not
Yes.
working, so it's a
Yes.
lot that goes into it. So I always advocate for people to really, like I say, use a wraparound service to always have, because a lot of times people when they seek mental health they don't understand the breadcrumbs of why they're what's causing their
Right.
mental illness,
What's
what's
causing all of that?
triggering,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where you guys come in and you help them
Mm-hmm.
pick up the breadcrumbs and really
Mm-hmm.
understand their diagnosis and things like that. So and as I mean every provider doesn't do this, but I try my best to also incorporate that and advocate for therapy, because therapy is
Mm-hmm.
an integral part
Right.
of the treatment plan and them actually healing, because you
Right.
got people that's carrying around weights for
Yes.
years and
That's
years of
it.
Mhm.
hurt and pain, and and it's just exacerbating their symptoms and things like that. And even if they're not on medication, I don't always give people medication. I feel like sometimes
Say that again.
they
Say
just
that
need
Yeah.
again.
therapy. I don't always give them medication.
You're right.
Right.
I don't,
Nisa, we need him
because
in California, don't we?
Yes. Come here.
yeah.
We're gonna bring
I
them
was
up to
there.
DC.
I was there. It's so crazy. I was there, and it's like I
He
used to
was in
tell
our
Marty,
backyard, Nisa.
I was close. I was so close. Like,
Literally, he was practically
Okay.
across the street from me, and we
yeah,
didn't know
Really?
that. I kid you
yeah.
not. I
Wow.
kid you not. But I love it. Danny, come on, Danny, plug your book in there. Danny is starting. If y'all don't know Danny Ross, we had him on here, and he has this amazing book that's written specifically for Black men that says the messages we
We
carry.
carry.
Nisa, it is the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And he
That's
talks
it.
about that. You said
Oh,
it.
hold on, Marty. Here we go. It's right here.
Oh, that's how we doing it now.
Oh no, because I write in it every day.
Right. Hold it
Right.
up so for folks to see one more again.
Here we go.
Yes,
Amazing.
yes. And it talks about just what you're talking about
Right.
there, so that we can identify the crumbs in our lives that's causing the anxiety, the crumbs in our lives that's Nisa, you say it best. Nisa says, listen, baby, sometimes we got to get in the trunk. What do you say,
Gotta get in the
Nisa?
trunk. Gotta get
Yes.
in the trunk.
Right.
It's and that's where your faith
Yes.
comes in at.
Yes.
When you get in the trunk and allow, here it is, as for me and my house, I allow God to drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
allow God to drive, because everybody knows about a passenger, that passenger just be trying to put the hand on the wheel, and then
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows about that backseat driver. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
needs or even wants a back
Right.
seat driver. But when you get in the trunk, and that way you can
Mm.
that way you can allow God to that that you trust God 100%, to
Right.
know that,
Yes.
listen, I'm safe in this here trunk,
Right.
and it matters not who where I'm going, but it matters most who's driving.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
and trusting God. This is what trusting God that He's going to lead you to a Thomas to get therapy. Trusting God that He's going to lead you to a
Exactly.
Nisa that's going to be with you and visit you on those days and say, "Hey, girl, you need
Mhm.
to eat." Trusting God that He's going to lead you to a Jabari that you can share that, and Jabari is going to be able to say, "Hey, you know what? I want to try something else before we go here. Before I put you on
Mhm.
these psychotropic meds, let's look at your
Mhm.
diet. Before we go here, let's make sure you're seeing your therapist. Before I
That's
give
it.
you this
Right.
med, let me make sure. Are you seeing Nisa
Right.
over at the church?
Mhm.
Before we go here,
Mhm.
are you doing exercising to make sure? Let's eliminate
Mhm.
all the natural things that we can
That's right.
have control over. Come on,
Right.
somebody. I
Yeah.
feel I
Come on,
Right.
feel my help
somebody.
coming
Come on
right
around
now.
these corners. Yeah.
Come on, Marty.
And making sure that we're doing the right thing. And I love Jabari for doing this. I'm not just prescribing, here, take these Xanax.
Right.
Here,
That's
take
right.
this, whatever it might be, Motrin, some stronger stuff. I can't call all of it right now.
Mhm.
Wellbutrin and all these other things. No,
Uh-huh.
let's get you on some of these other. Yeah, I do know a little bit. Not much as you. Go ahead, Thomas.
I just want to say, and Marty can attest to this, we never script out what we talk about.
No.
No.
And both of you all have come in here tonight and you guys have solidified what Marty
Yes.
and I talked about discussing on tonight. And I want to go back a little bit to the breadcrumbs. The
Yeah.
breadcrumbs are it's like this. We got a few more weeks until we enter this major holiday
Mm-hmm.
that is more
Come on,
costly.
Justin. Yes.
That's more costly. And that's what I'm about to say too, Justin. That is more costly than what it is to our sanity.
Yes.
We go into debt.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mhm.
get these exotic gifts that we think people want to have, and then when they open it up, it's like, oh, that's what I have. And
Mm-hmm.
so we just wanted to really come on to just share with people how it is very important to take care of you first
Mm-hmm.
and control your destiny to your happiness and
Right.
understand that seasons are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when those seasons change, that goes away and that eliminates people, that
Mm-hmm.
eliminates situations, it
Mm-hmm.
Right.
eliminates environments.
Right.
It eliminates these text messages that you may be getting that you probably shouldn't be responding to.
Uh-oh.
When you are really trying to change yourself and take care of
Mhm.
yourself, the most important thing that you have to do is stop some actions.
Right.
That's that's
And
right.
that's what Marty
Okay.
and I wanted to come on tonight and have you guys share with the people. How
Hmm.
can we care for ourselves? Because at the end of the day, we've been in the house since March 15th. It's 9 months,
Almost.
right?
We're verging on a year here in a minute.
Almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So how can we continue to care for ourselves as we're about to enter the 10th month?
Right.
Hmm.
So,
Mhm.
Nisa, what has been your self-care regiment?
You know, more than see,
Well,
I thought you was tuning
man.
up. You
Listen,
know.
right. That's why I said, well, ah,
things. Listen, things have changed
yes,
Yeah.
drastically. Things
yes.
Yes.
have changed drastically. I can honestly say that, I was, oh man, for the better part of 3 years, the
Mm-hmm.
exercising,
Yes.
the walking, the if not
Yes.
anything else, a brisk walk, because I've learned from
Yes.
you, Mr. Marty, how those endorphins get
Come
in.
on.
So it has not changed in a way whereas I don't there's breathing techniques that are so necessary. something
Yes.
Right.
as simple
Yes.
as something as simple as exhaling through your nose
Yes.
and inhale out your mouth. These little
Yes.
stress busters. And see, me being a singer and having being well versed in breathing techniques,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
it's so calming. It centers
Right.
you. If
Right.
Yes.
you can't do anything else, and thank God for the ability to have more time to breathe,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be surprised as to what deep breathing in these meditations. And ooh,
Yes.
what do you know about tranquility
Come on.
apps, or going to YouTube and put in
Mm-hmm.
that listening to water, oceans
Yep.
Yes.
crashing.
Yes.
Yep.
Come on.
It's just necessary to be able to get these things I've learned on my own because
Mm-hmm.
we've been inside, if you
Right.
will.
Right.
But listen, we've got to be able to. One thing about this, if you are privy to this particular, what is this, a show tonight, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
You don't just say amen.
Right.
Put this in motion. These young men are giving us a wonderful service, something that will cost you thousands upon thousands, or maybe a few hundreds.
Right.
In
We'll
one
take the
hour, what we're
thousands.
receiving in this podcast is so
Yes.
valuable. It's
Right.
very,
Yes.
very valuable. And we've got to put all of these things that you guys are telling us into practice to
Yes.
be able
Yes.
to better help ourselves. Am I making any sense?
Oh,
Yes.
totally.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Nisa.
Okay,
See?
And
okay,
and
okay. Yeah,
and
but
mhm.
now I'm making more time to get out, and if not anything else, to get out and walk like I
Mm-hmm.
used to. And so that's coming
Yeah.
back. The oxygen is getting back to my fingertips now. Thank God.
Right. And and what you said, Nisa, goes
There
to
it is.
what to Jabari said. That is a
Are we all
prescription.
frozen? Am I the only one? Oh,
That is
You're the only one.
yes, 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 yes. But what you just said, Miss Nisa, is the prescription that we can give a client to say, instead of you instead of you taking this pill, let's try to breathe first. Let's try to exhale. Let's try to breathe out of our mouths. Let's try to walk. Let's download that Calm app. Let's write in our journals. Let's talk about those messages that we are carrying inside of us before we go to that pill. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes, yes. Nisa, you're back. I love it. Jabari, what do you recommend as well? What are you doing to stay for self care
what
for
happened?
yourself?
What's going on?
Um,
You back with us,
I
Nisa?
I primarily I like to stay at home. I like to limit kind of my exposure. Considering
Mm-hmm.
that I still work, so
Right,
it's like
right.
so I mean primarily like to relax when I'm at home. I like to watch and a lot of people may not notice, but I like to watch like kind of like animal shows, like in the sense
Okay,
of Planet Earth. So I
okay.
look at a lot of like like oceanography, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of relaxing. And
Mm-hmm.
I do like online shopping
Hmm.
in my free time.
Mm-mm.
Now, Nisa.
So just like just simple stuff.
Yeah, Jabari says simple stuff, Nisa. Now Jabari will cook king crab legs, surf and turf, all that for just one, and have champagne with that. Listen, Nisa, you said it. Jabari has
I'm
learned to
having a
say,
hard time hearing.
"Okay, we're gonna get you going," but just having a great time. So, Thomas, what do you do for self care these days?
So lately, what I do honestly is that I just walk. I walk, I jog, I write in my journal, and I just take time off the screen. One of the things that I do,
Yes.
I am a dean for a time, so I am on somebody's laptop and somebody's Zoom from 7:45 in the morning up until 4 o'clock. And
Wow.
sometimes in the evenings, I just detach myself from all media, from
Mm-hmm.
all technologies, just so I can just refuel myself. And then also because we are therapists, we hear
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff and we
Mm-hmm.
intake a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
if we don't release some our stuff, we are not going to be good for anyone else. So I just learned how to escape from things. I
Mm-hmm.
do have people that be like, "Well, where you been at? I ain't hear from you all day." Don't
Mm-hmm.
take it personal, because at the end of the day, it's me trying to take care of some things in me. And so
Hmm.
I just walk, I exercise, I love to cook. One of my favorite shows, Don't Judge Me, is Judge Judy. She will make you
Uh-oh.
laugh. I love her sarcasm.
Uh-oh.
So I sit and I binge watch that, and I watch my old school Marty shows. So I just chill. Like I just take time away from things that will cause me to have to
Yes.
think about something.
You're absolutely right. I think one of the misnomers in our community is that we thought of self care as being selfish, as
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
opposed to saying it's self full. What am I saying, Marty? As you take care of yourself, it puts you in a position to be
Mm-hmm.
fully able, self full, to help others
That's
in your
right.
life. You
Right.
cannot help someone else until you first begin
Help
to help
yourself.
yourself. Even
Hello.
come on, when you are
That's right.
flying, what do they say? In case of a loss of cabin pressure, you will find that a bag will pop down. Please secure the oxygen tank first on your self. Come on, before you can help someone else.
Somebody else.
Right, because you have to have all the oxygen you need first in order to be a
Mhm.
help and a blessing to
Right.
someone else. So, self care for me is that important because you have to first take care of
Mm-hmm.
yourself so that you can be 100 on your
Mm-hmm.
job, so that you can be 100 with your family, so that you can be
Hmm.
100 with yourself, so that
Right.
you can be 100 in
That's right.
every other aspect of your life. And we
You
have to
talking, Marty?
start put. I know I am. The
Yeah.
Holy Ghost is with me today. Come on, somebody.
I told you, Jabari. I told you.
But that's what we have to do with that. Just I cannot have Nisa on this show and not have her just give us a piece of something in there. Give us a piece of Nisa. Give us a little tune or something, Nisa.
Well, I feel like going on. I feel like going on. Though trials, ooh, they come, y'all, on every hand. Still, I feel like going on. You go on.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Marty. If I may, because I'm looking at the time.
Yes.
To our listening audience, did you hear those words? You
Yes.
have to feel
Feel like
like
going
Mhm.
on.
going on.
Going on.
No matter what is
That's
happening, no
it.
matter what
Yes.
obstacles that you
Oh,
are
man.
facing, you
Yes.
still have to
That's
keep
it.
moving forward. Self care,
Yes.
take care of
Forward.
yourself. And like she said at the end, you keep moving forward. So
That's
thank you,
right.
Miss Nisa. Thank
Oh,
you.
Yes, yes,
bless you.
yes. Nisa
Bless
gonna tell
you.
you, she was one of the first. She was the first gospel artist, the lady of gospel. On, tell them what record label you were on.
Priority Records. My
Priority.
All
label
right.
mates with Snoop Dogg was my label mates with Snoop Dogg and West Side Connection and
West
Master P
Side.
and all of them. It was
Yes,
wonderful.
Okay.
It is wonderful to be a part of
yes.
history. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
So she just ain't some little somebody coming up on here. We got celebrities on here. Come on now. Someone said, "Sang Miss Nisa." That's right.
Right.
Nisa, how can the community, if people wanted to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
It's gonna always be Nisa Shanae, spelled Nysa Shenay. Just about on every format. I
Platform.
do
Yeah.
everything but the twits. I don't do the twits.
The twit.
There it is.
Love that.
There it is. You can
Love that.
The twit.
Google me.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yes.
use that one. I'm using that one. The twist.
Yes.
I think I'm
Y'all,
saving myself I think I'm saving myself a world of trouble by. I've never even logged on to Twitter. I've never done
I
that
don't.
before.
I think it's my age. I don't
Something tells me I'm
understand
saving
it.
myself a
Yes,
whole
you
lot
are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
of good time, of positive space.
Yes.
That's
But
right.
God bless those that do.
Wonderful. Jabari, how can our listeners get a hold of you?
Um, Pretty much all my social platforms are my name. So if you type in my name, you'll find me on Facebook. I'm under Jabari J Dobson on Facebook. On Instagram, I am Jabari_Dobson, and on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
I am which I'm not really active on Twitter, so
Right.
but my Twitter is my name is at Jabari Dobson. So
Awesome, Jabari. Listen, the two of you, Thomas, did they give us some knowledge or what?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
awesome.
yes. Yeah. Thomas, how can we get a hold of you?
Well, I don't want to save my Twitter because I don't want to tweet. So, Daryl, you can skip over that one. No, you can find me on YouTube, which is Limitless Possibilities LLC. The website is up, limitlesspossibilitiesforyou.com. Instagram is Limitless Outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And my email address is there as well.
Yes, and you have a show this coming Sunday.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So how can we find your show and what time does it come on at? There we go.
The show comes on this coming Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, by the way, 7 p.m. And we're going to be discussing seasons change. And I'm telling you, this panel that we have on Sunday is dynamic. We're going to be talking about some real stuff. How many of us on here believe that we got to break away from some things?
Yes, we do.
Not just the holidays, but we got to get, as Marty says, we got to stop some stinking thinking.
That's right.
Move some things out the way so you can
Yes.
get ready for 2021. So we're going to be empowering everybody on Sunday to keep moving on, to not give up, and let's change some seasons and move some mountains. So I hope to see all of you all on Sunday.
Yes, yes. And as always, we want to thank you for joining us here on the Mental Health Matters with Marty, this special pandemic edition. Again, I am Martina Sellers, your mental health hygienist, and you can reach me on the following platforms. If you want to reach out, we would love for you to. On Facebook, Mental Health Matters with Marty, and on YouTube, Martinez Sellers. And as always, my website, please check out my website at mentalhealthmarty.com. There you will find mental health gear and those things that you're going to need to help you through your day so that you continue to live this positive day. And please subscribe to our website, Mental Health Matters with Marty. You can find it on all podcasting streaming sources. But for you Apple listeners, please leave us a 5-star rating and a review. And become an iMatter member by texting iMatter to 31996. As I said earlier on the podcast, tomorrow's edition is definitely in celebration and honor of World's AIDS Day, featuring Dante Morrison, community activist and community life changer. It is amazing because we're talking about AIDS and the Black community, of how it's still infecting us. But how do we live healthy lives by making sure that we are being healthy and we're doing all the necessary self-care actions so that we remain safe and that we have the conversations with our children. As always, you could have chosen any other platform, but you chose ours. But we have to stop the stinking thinking. And what do I always say each week? We have to speak up, speak out, and live. Until next week, take care and God bless.